Hey, I am Brett Lee Clark, and this is my channel. In today's video, I'm going to break down the top goofs of Scream 4. Get your top 5 movie goofs from this goof. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Brett, and I make random videos. Anything from top 5 movie goofs, to cooking, to product reviews, to all kinds of stuff. Yeah. And also, if you're new here, then you wouldn't know, but if you're not new here, then you would know. We got a new set, people. Huh? Wow, look at there. I was filming in my movie room before, and it was a pain in the ass. I had to put the camera and shit up, and then take it back down, and put it back up, and take it back down. So I wasn't like filming as much as I wanted to, but now I have a little set, so I can film more. So yeah. You want to take a tour of my set? Huh? Let's take a tour. So we got green stuff happening, a little green. So that green. So we got a little altitude, look at altitude. Feed me Seymour. Feed me all night long. Yeah, yeah. And then we got Scream 5. We got a Stab poster. We got a little Chucky, a little baby Ghostface, and a little Jason. And then over here we got a Britney Spears doll. And we got Ghostface, and we got Gremlins, and we got Jason, and we got Halloween 2, and we got Halloween 3, and we got a Buzz Lightyear that I meant to change out before I started filming, but I didn't so well. And I said Britney already. We got a Britney Spears doll, an autographed Neve Campbell Funko Pop. Wow. And a Pee Wee Herman. I like Pee Wee Herman. And I like traveling, so there's a little suitcase. I don't know why. It was just there to elevate those. So that, yeah. Anyway, it's fine. And we got a little microphone. And that's about it. I think that's all we have. Okay, so from now on, new decade, new rules, as Scream 4 said. So new set, new rules. You ready? So I used to do top 5 goofs of movies. And I break it down into 5 sections. I have bonuses. And you're going to get like 20 goofs. But my title would say top 5 goofs. And I feel like people are like, I don't want to click on a video that's 13 minutes long for only 5 goofs, even though they're getting 15, but they know they're getting 15. So, from now on, I'm going to do top goofs, and I'll do from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie. Just go in order. There's no countdown or anything. It's just from the beginning to the end, and we'll just do it that way. So, and then next, and then, so we'll just go like that in order of the movie, and it'll be fine. Yeah? And then so, okay, so I'm going to start doing more, because I have a set now, and I can do my thing now. So, comment below and let me know which movies you guys want to see. I'll probably do all the Halloween movies come October, obviously. And then, yeah, we'll just go from there. I'll probably have Scream 5 up by Friday. So if you're watching this on Monday, subscribe so you can get Scream 5 Friday. See? Okay, so yeah, I think that's all I have to say right now. So let's get into Scream 4. You guys ready? Okay, so starting from the beginning, we're going to skip Stab 6 and 7 and go straight into Ginny and Marnie. So when Ginny goes upstairs and then she comes back downstairs and Marnie's missing, she's like, where's Marnie? And she gets on the phone, right, with Ghostface. And she's like, you know, talking to him, and he's like, oh, Marnie's on the cutting room floor. Well, when she's talking like that, if you look right behind her is the staircase, right? Like directly behind her, like within, she wants to lean back and grab it, she probably could. Maybe a few more feet back, but it's right there behind her, right? She's on the phone, and as soon as Marnie comes crashing through the window, there's no longer the stairs behind her. Now it's a couch behind her, and she runs a good 20 plus feet to get to the stairs, and get past the stairs, go to the front door, and then go up the stairs. You see that? So watch. So she's on the phone. So he's like, I suggest you start running. He says that. She's by the stairs. Crash. Oh, where'd the stairs go? There's a couch behind her now. That's weird. And then she's like, and turn upstairs. So, and then when she gets to the garage, this one is like very, very, very small, but it's there. So as she's crawling out the garage, right, which people always say like, the garage wouldn't have closed like that. It could, if there was no sensors, it would close, and it would hit and then go back up. That's how garages work. So it'd hit and go back up. That's fine. So there's no lasers, we'll say that. There's no lasers, which is why it didn't stop automatically. But if you watch very closely before Ghostface pushes it to stop the garage from going up. And then if you watch right before it cuts back to Ghostface again, the garage starts going down. It's like a millisecond. It's very, very minute. You would barely even notice it. But it does start going back down right before Ghostface pushes the button. So it's like they just didn't cut it just as quick. They could have cut it just a second sooner, and then it wouldn't have been like that. But it goes like, eh, and then Ghostface pushes the button. So then we keep on going with the movie. So when Gale is watching Sidney and Nancy O'Dell on the computer, which, by the way, Nancy O'Dell is in Scream 2. She interviews Tori Spelling. She's in Scream 3. She's outside Cotton Murray's house. And in Scream 4, she interviews Sidney. So she's in the first 3 sequels, in case you didn't know. But when Nancy O'Dell is interviewing Neve, Campbell, Sidney, Prescott, if you look at Gale's right, it's a thing of toast. There's 2 pieces of toast there. But when the camera changes angles to this side, there's now 3 pieces of toast right there. So there's that. And then, when Gale's like, I don't know what the fucking right, when she's doing that, right, it shows her finish the sentence on the screen, because I don't fucking know what to write. And it ends, but she still continues typing. Eh? You see it? You hear it? So she continues typing after that. So there you go. But moving on to when Olivia dies, Olivia Morris. So Olivia Morris, when she gets slaughtered and gutted, Sidney goes running next door to try to save her, right? See? Which I saw someone comment and say, like, oh, Sidney just needs to go away so she can stop. She tries to save people. Ever since Scream 3, she always goes after Ghostface. She doesn't run from him, really. I mean, unless she's like, you know, getting chased by him, then yeah. But she always goes after him to save somebody if Ghostface is after him. She never runs away from someone being attacked by Ghostface. She always goes to help. You know what I mean? So anyway, she goes to help Olivia Morris, and as soon as she gets there and Olivia's dead, she's like, oh my god. And she grabs onto the door and she slides down. But when she slides down, no blood comes off, which if that had just happened like literally a minute earlier or 30 seconds earlier, wouldn't that blood still be a little bit wet to where when she swiped her hand down, it would either get on her hand or it would at least smear on the door. Does that make sense? So there you go. Neve Campbell not getting any blood on her hand at Olivia Morris's house. Nah, there you go. And then when Rebecca Walters gets attacked or gets killed in the parking garage, watch what happens. This one has multiple mess-ups in it, so get ready. And they're very obvious. It's like, oh my god, how did no one notice that? Okay, so when she's oh shit, and she's running towards the exit door, trying to get back to the elevator, right? As she's running, look at the exit door. On the actual door itself, it has the exit sign. On the actual door, not the one above it, on the door. Exit sign, right? And there's a pole. Oh my god. Sorry, Sidney. Jesus Christ. Okay, there's a pole. That's closer than I thought it was. Okay, so next to the exit door is a pole with a yellow box on it, right? You see that as she's running towards it. Also, there are no cars parked in front of the door. The cars are parked like, if this is the door, the cars are parked like this, going sideways, right? Wait for the next scene. It's all going to change. So as she approaches the door, now there are magically 2 cars facing the door. The door no longer has an exit sign on it. And the pole with the yellow box is now gone and replaced by a level 6 sign. Huh? Did you see that? Watch it again. Running towards it, no cars, facing the door, just one side next to it, side over here. And there you go. And then, when she gets there, they're all facing the door. And, maybe it's this way, facing the door. And, yeah, there you go. So, oh, and then, when Ghostface stabs her, you hear the stab noise, right? But when he pulls the knife out, if you look, she has 2 stab wounds instead of 1. But you know, you hear 1 stab, which I'm not sure why they did that. Why did they throw in an extra stab sound? It'd make more sense for her to pass out with 2 stabs versus 1 stab. So then, moving on, we have the Stabathon. It's right there, Stabathon, huh? Okay, so moving on to Stabathon, when Gail shows up and she's putting the camera, her little hidden cameras around, which, first problem, how is it 15 years later and her hidden camera has grown? Like in part 1, her hidden camera was like this big. But now, 15 years, or this big, you can't see, this big. 15 years later though, it's like it's gigantic. So that's weird. But anyway, that's not the goof. So her hidden camera, while she's hiding cameras, they start playing Stab in the background. She hides the first camera underneath like the projection screen, and it's like the movie's just starting, right? And then as she's climbing up the ladder, you hear the window crash scene of like Ghostface busting through the back door. But then when she gets up the stairs to put the camera to face the movie screen, there is now the popcorn burning scene. But then when she goes outside to her car and comes back in to fix her cameras, the movie has now just started and she's answering the phone for the first time. And the window crash scene hasn't happened yet. It actually happens again when Gale goes back up to get her camera that's laying sideways. Does that make sense? So the stab movie is way out of order in the Gale in the barn scene. It goes from book by Gale Weathers to a crash noise to burning popcorn to her getting out of the shower and answering the phone and a crash noise and then her fighting Ghostface. So it's like, it like chops it up. So yeah, there's that. So moving on, when Sidney is fixed the wind chimes, she has a little tea, she's making her little tea. She takes that tea kettle and she sits it down on a cutting board. When she sits it on the cutting board, she goes to the door and her aunt's there and she's like, oh, okay. If you look back then if you look behind her, you'll see the tea kettle is no longer on the cutting board, it is off onto the counter. Man. So we got the tea kettle moving from the cutting board to the countertop. See that? I've always seen people say that the cereal box in the grocery bag is open. You see that? The cereal box has been like open and then reclosed. But maybe her aunt got hungry on the ride home and she opened that box and had a little snack before she got home. And then she closed it back and put it back in the bag. That makes sense, right? See? So then we're going to move on to Kirby's house. So at Kirby's house, at the very end, and Charlie and Jill are revealed as the killer, right? When Charlie has the knife, you can tell is a prop knife. Can you tell which one of these is the prop knife and which one's real? Can you tell? I don't know if you can. Which one is the real one? Which one's the prop one? That's the prop one. You can kind of tell based on like the tips of them, I guess. This one's a little sharper looking because it is sharper. Anyway, so when he has the fake knife, you can clearly see, like right here, there's a little line on his that is where it would retract if he was to stab someone or someone was to stab him with it. So there you go. You can clearly tell Charlie's holding the wrong knife. He should have been holding like a more, like this type of knife, like a rubber one that doesn't have a line, not the retractable one. He should be holding the rubber one for filming, not a real one, obviously. But this one, non-retractable, but also not real. And then when Charlie shows Sidney the video on his cell phone, he does this. He's holding it like this, right? But then in the next shot, he's holding like this. Just keep looking. It changes hand position each time, like this, and then like this. And then, if you watch, what's her name? Jill is holding a knife to Sidney's throat, right? And she also has a gun that she shoots Trevor with, right? And she's holding the knife and gun, and then when her and Charlie get ready to stab each other, somehow she now has a free hand, and Charlie hands her a knife. Even though they both had knives earlier, Charlie was holding the weird knife with the line in it, and she had Sidney the whole time held with a knife. So there are two knives at the very end, but then when she goes to stab Charlie, there's no longer two knives, there's only one knife for the rest of the movie. She walks away to go to Charlie. Somehow she no longer has a knife in her hand, and Charlie hands her a knife. So there's that. Yeah. And then, when she goes to scratch her face, look at Trevor's stomach. Trevor's like clearly breathing the whole time. Like whole time. He wasn't trying to hold his breath for anything. His stomach's clearly going up and down. Which, had he been stabbed, maybe he's dying. But no, he was shot in the head. He's not still breathing. There's no still breathing about that. Hold your breath, Nico. So anyway, then when Jill goes to throw herself onto the table, the back of her hair is in front, or is all in front. The back of her shirt is like visible. There's like one like chunk of strand back there, but most of her hair is to the front. But as soon as she goes to throw herself backwards, all of her hair has been magically pushed behind her, and then she throws herself. So that's all at Kirby's house. And then we're gonna go to the hospital scene when Sidney shoots her, right? She falls face forward, right? And like, yeah, she's laying her head like this, but she's face down. She's face down with her head turned sideways, right? But she's face down. In the very last shot, after the reporter's like, and Jill Roberts, the world will know her, a hero right out of the movies. When it shows Jill again, she's now laying on her back with looking at the camera. Huh? Have you never noticed that? Have you ever noticed that? Face down, head turned sideways, and now she's face or on her back, head turned sideways. Maybe someone rolled her over, I guess. I don't know. Maybe Sidney rolled her ass over. I don't know. And here's a random bonus. I used to do bonuses in my other videos, so I'll give you a bonus of something that someone got wrong in the movie. So Jill says, you know what people really love, sweetie, is a soul survivor, which is not accurate because in every Scream movie, there are 4 survivors at the very end of them. Well, besides part 5. So in Scream 1, you had Sidney, Gale, Dewey, and Randy. In Scream 2, you had Sidney, Gale, Dewey, and Cotton. In Scream 4, you have Sidney, Gale, Dewey, and Mark Kincaid. And in Scream 4, you have Sidney, Gale, Dewey, and Judy Hicks. Just counting the people at the very end finale, the people in the very final fight scene. Not like Martha Meeks was in Scream 3 and she's about Cotton Weary was in Scream 1. No, people who are actually in the final scene. There's always 4 survivors. In part 5, there was 6 survivors. But there's always 4 survivors, so there is no sole survivor, Miss Jill. You had that wrong. You are the goof yourself, and you did, so there you go. Alright, so that was my top goofs of Scream 4. Yeah! Did you guys have fun? Come Friday, I'll have Scream 5 top goofs, so subscribe and hit the bell notification so you'll know when that post. Also, I'm gonna do all of the Halloween franchise come October, so the following Monday, I will have every single Halloween movie all of October, all the goofs of all Halloween movies in October. So subscribe to see all of those. Comment below what's your favorite Halloween, what's your favorite Scream, or what's your favorite movie, and maybe I'll do that movie next, the goofs of that movie next. Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram, @BrettLeeClark. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say, so I hope you have a good day. Bye.